Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. Today we're gonna jump into another GTO trainer session. This is a series where we play different types of GTO spots, and today we're playing the MP2 Open versus Big Blind Call, which is a tournament spot played on 50 big blind stacks, and we are already something like 350 hands into this spot. So just last 150 hands left and we're gonna finish it. So far we're doing pretty great. I'm really happy with the progress we've done in this spot. So let's start a new session and play at our 25 hands. Alright, for the first one we've got King Queen off on a 5-10 deuce. We're gonna bet 2 here. That's the ideal action, played 76% of the time. The villain calls, and we have a 5 of diamonds on the turn. Villain leads for a third pot bet. And how do we act here? Do we fold? Do we call? Do we raise? I think this might be a spot where we call. Okay, we should fold 87% of the time. Call just 6. So that's cool. Ace of diamonds on the river. Do we check behind with our hand? Do we bet? I think we can actually bet here, 3/4. Okay. Ideal action would be betting half pot here, 27% of the time. Frequency. 3/4 pot bet is 16.5% of the strategy. Very small EV loss. So the remainder, I wonder how the remainder of the strategy looks like, but fortunately we cannot see it in the GTO trainer, so let's go to the next one. King Queen on a Queen Deuce King. I think we're betting 2 here. Okay, this is a bet 5, 74% of the time. We get called. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. I think we're betting 3/4 now. Okay, this is a medium EV loss. Betting 3/4 here. Should be an overbet, 98% of the time. 5 of spades on the river, and I guess now we're overbetting. So yeah, maybe that's why we should just overbet on the turn to build a bigger pot, because now we're betting 150% of the pot. Villain folds. Ace Queen off on an Ace 7/7. I think this is a bet too. It is. 89% of the time. King of clubs on the turn. Now do we bet 3/4 here or do we overbet? Wonder how often the solver overbets here, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, so this actually is an overbet spot, 93% of the time. Okay, good. 7/6 of diamonds on an 8 Queen 6. We're betting 2, maybe 5? No, okay, we're betting 2 here, 79% of the time. Ace Queen off on a 9 Jack Jack. Is that a bet 5? Okay, it's check 61% of the time and bet 2 39% of the time. Bet 5 is almost never played here. Small EV loss, but yeah, we shouldn't be betting 5 here with Ace Queen off. 8 of diamonds on the turn, and now the villain leads for a third pot bet. I think we gotta call this here, right? I don't think folding here is an option. Okay, we won't know because this game tree hasn't been calculated. We're just gonna check behind on the river to see what the villain has. Okay, the villain's got a jack. Ace Jack of diamonds on an 8-6-10. We're gonna bet 2. check is the ideal action. Played 54% of the time. Queen of spades on the turn. I think we continue betting here. We now have a double gut shot. Let's try it. Maybe it's an overbet. Okay. It's a check 69% of the time. Bet 3/4, 29. So it's fine. 5 of clubs on the river. I think we have to bet at this. Now, do we shove or do we bet 3/4 here? I think we have to shove. Okay, it's not a shove. Shove isn't actually a bad play here. And just 0.19% of the strategy. Should just be a check behind. Why would the solver give up on this hand on the river? Maybe it's because the big blind has all the flushes. And we just have a few of them. I guess that's it. Okay, but that is good to know, of course. That we shouldn't be bluffing here. Ace queen off on a 4-8-6. Let's check now. Okay, it's a bet too. 85% of the time. 9 of diamonds on the turn, and the villain overbets. We're folding. Yeah, we should fold 60% of the time, but call 40 with our hand here. Folding is a small EV loss. Pocket kings on a 5-10-9. Is that a bet 5? It is. We get called. Ace on the turn. Do we continue betting? Do we check? I think we're gonna go for a check occasionally here. You know, just 3% of the time. Okay. Should be a donk bet, 61% of the time actually. So we pocket kings on a board like that. When an ace falls on the turn, we should donk it. Okay, and now the villain overbets, and we're gonna call, of course, with our hand. Yep. Villain's got a 6-7 suited. Ace 5 suited now on a 6 jack king. We're betting 2. Okay, surprisingly, this is a bet 5. Played 63% of the time. And the solver's doing a fair bit of checking here, 30% with our hand. Another king on the turn. Villain checks for the second time. I think we're checking behind. Or betting 3/4. And now a 10 of clubs on the river. I think we're just gonna call. Okay, should be a raise. Raise pot 54% of the time. Call is just 4% of the strategy, so that's interesting. 8-9 of diamonds on a 5-6 deuce. I think it's a bet too. It is. We get raised to 8.5. We're gonna call. Okay, the solver actually likes re-raising here. 40% of the time. And the remainder 60, it calls. Now we have a king of spades on the turn. And the villain leads for a donk bet, quarter pot bet. Do we just call this? Or do we fold? I think we have the odds now, right? For a gut shot. No, probably we don't have the odds. But are we folding here? Are we calling? How often are we calling here? I don't think too often. I'm gonna fold. Okay, we are calling here. Quite very often. 89% of the time. We're folding just 7.6. And it's a small EV loss. Okay. Ace 8 of diamonds on a king 9 with 2 diamonds. I think we're betting 2. Yeah, villain folds. Ace queen off on a jack 5 ace. We're gonna bet 2. Bet 5. I was thinking it should be a bet 5. Okay. Ace 7 suited on a 10-8-9. Maybe that's a check. Okay, that's a bet 5. Checking small velos, but just 3% of the strategy. King of diamonds on the turn. I think we're gonna do a delayed c-bet now. Solver would prefer betting 3/4, 87% of the time. And another king on the river. I think we're just checking it down. Yeah, and we lose to a 10. Ace 10 off on a 9-3-10. We're betting 2. Betting 5's the preferred play, 76% of the time. We go called and there's a 6 of clubs on the turn. I think we continue betting. Bet 3/4 pot here. Okay, solver likes over betting with our hand on this board. Okay, and a king of spades on the river. Are we thin value betting here or are we checking behind? I think I'm gonna bet half pot here. Okay, should rather be a check, 93% of the time. 3% of the strategy is betting half pot, so yeah, we should just check behind. Pocket fours on a king 5 deuce, we're betting 2, 91% of the time. Villain calls. 9 of hearts on the turn. We're gonna check. And now another 9 on the river, villain bets. I think we're just calling. Yeah. Villain has a 5. Ace king of hearts on a 4-7 queen with 2 hearts. Is that a bet 5? It's a bet 2. Okay. Ace king off on a 7-10-3. I'm gonna bet 2. Bet 5's the ideal action. We get raised. Do we call here with ace king? Do we fold? I think we call. 1 bet, right? Okay, we actually fold 60% of the time. Call 39. 5 of spades on the turn. Villain bleeds for 3/4, so we're just folding. Whoa, and actually now the solver would call 62% of the time and fold 38. This is surprising. I wouldn't say it's a call so frequently. Weird. Ace king suited on a 5-10 ace. We're betting 2. It's a bet 5. Okay. King queen suited on a 4-8-8 with 2 diamonds. We're betting 2. We are. Villain folds. Pocket 5s on a 4-3 ace. We're betting 2. Villain folds. Pocket deuces on a deuce 4 ace. Is that a bet 2? It is. We get raised, so that's great. We're just gonna call. Yeah. King of hearts on the turn. Villain checks. Now what do we do? Do we bet 3/4? Do we overbet? I think we bet 3/4. Or do we maybe donk it? I think I'm gonna try and donk it. Yes, it is a donk bet. Perfect. So glad I made this right decision here. I'm learning the donk bet spots. This is great. Pocket 10s on a 10-9 jack. Is that a check or bet 2? Okay, it's a bet 5, surprisingly. 4 of hearts on the turn. Do we bet here? Do we check maybe? I think we bet, but how much? Maybe we overbet here? Let's try overbetting. No, should rather be a 3/4 pot bet, 95% of the time. Overbets the rest of the strategy, well, maybe not entirely, but it's much rarer play. 6 Jack Ace is the flop, and we have Ace Queen of diamonds. I think we're betting 2 here. Betting 5, 92% of the time. Okay. 8-7 suited on a 9 deuce ace. We're betting 2. Yes. Villain calls. And now we hit our 8 on the turn. Villain leads for a 3/3 of the pot. Do we call here? Maybe we raise. 8-7, probably not. Let's just call. We should actually fold 80% of the time. And now 4 of spades on the river and villain overbets. I think we're folding. Okay, fold's the ideal action, but it's played 2.9% of the time. So I guess we're calling here 97% of the time. Or are we shoving here? I don't know. Pocket sixes on a queen 4 deuce with 2 diamonds. We're betting 2. We're getting raised and we're calling. Yep. 8 of clubs on the turn. We're gonna check. As we should. And ace on the river and villain shoves. Is this a call or a fold? I think this has to be a call, but I don't know. Let's go. Okay, it's a call. But, it's a fold 99% of the time. Calling is a medium EV loss, but should just be 1% of our play. So this was bad. This was, well, maybe not the worst, but quite bad. And yeah, that was our last hand. So let's exit the session. See our stats, minus 22 BBs of EV loss. Frequencies are fine. Yeah, I guess this hand quite cost us, this ace jack, where we shoved on the river. We triple barreled, and we should really give up the river, as we can see here. Solver is giving up 100% of the time, as should we. So if it weren't for this one, I think our session would be much more successful, but oh well. What are you gonna do? It's not that bad anyway. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a comment below. Just write GTO or ask any questions you might have. Subscribe if you're not already. Leave a thumbs up below. Check out the playlists in the description of this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.